powerful storm named Benjamin struck France and the Netherlands on Thursday, October 23, 2025, bringing wind gusts exceeding 130 kilometers per hour and causing massive power outages across large parts of the continent. The system disrupted rail transport, led to numerous flight cancellations, and inflicted serious damage on electrical infrastructure. Early in the day, Meteo France confirmed that the country was facing one of the strongest wind systems of the autumn season. The most intense winds were recorded along the Atlantic coast and the English Channel, with sustained speeds between 90 and 110 kilometers per hour. In Mediterranean regions, gusts reached 100 to 130 kilometers per hour due to the Tramontane wind, which complicated maritime navigation and forced the temporary closure of several ports. Wave heights also rose significantly along the Atlantic coastline, prompting warnings for extreme surf conditions. By 2 p.m., 11 French departments remained under orange alert, down from more than 18 earlier in the morning. Meteo France reported that the storm would continue moving northward through the rest of the day, maintaining severe conditions across several regions. The national power company Enedis reported that more than 140,000 households were without electricity. The most affected areas were in the southwest, particularly Nouvelle-Aquitaine, where 45,000 homes were left in the dark. In Bourgogne-Franche-Comté and Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, another 15,000 outages were recorded per region. In Charente-Maritime, 12,000 homes lost power and all train services were suspended. 3 people suffered minor injuries from wind-blown debris, while firefighters responded to hundreds of incidents involving downed trees along the Atlantic coast. But the worst was yet to come. Forecasts indicated that the storm could intensify over the following hours, especially in Manche, Vaud, Gironde, Landes, and Pyrenees-Atlantiques, where gusts continued to strengthen with each passing hour. Meteo France extended its warnings for strong winds and coastal flooding risks, known as vague submersion. Authorities advised residents to limit travel and secure outdoor objects. In the Netherlands, the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute, KNMI, issued an orange code for extreme weather. Western provinces, particularly Zeeland and Noord-Holland, were the first to feel Benjamin's impact, with gusts reaching 120 kilometers per hour. By the afternoon, the first fallen trees were reported in Tilburg and Harderwijk as the storm moved northward. In Zeeland, authorities noted a slight decrease in intensity, though high winds continued to disrupt rail and maritime traffic. High-speed trains between Amsterdam Zuid and Breda were suspended for safety reasons. Services between Rotterdam and Amsterdam Zuid were expected to resume around 7:30 p.m. In the coastal city of Jurziek, sea levels rose significantly, leaving several vehicles partially submerged. The public broadcaster NOS reported dozens of flight cancellations at Schiphol Airport, the country's main hub. However, conditions worsened further when the strong winds began affecting the English Channel region, also impacting southern England. In Kent, Surrey, East Sussex, and West Sussex, multiple flood and high tide warnings were issued. The organization Surfers Against Sewage confirmed sewage discharges at several coastal locations due to overloaded drainage systems. Ferry operators DFDS and Brittany Ferries suspended routes between Dover and Calais, as well as between Newhaven and Dieppe. In West Sussex, roads such as Hammerpond Road were blocked by fallen trees. The UK Met Office issued yellow alerts for wind and rain across much of southeastern England. Despite the storm's strength, authorities reported that it would start to weaken during Thursday night. However, gusts over the Wadden Sea area could still exceed 100 kilometers per hour into the early morning. Meteorological services in both the UK and France agreed that Benjamin represented the first major autumn storm of the season. Even so, they warned that another disturbance could form the following week. For Transilien train lines H, K, and P in the Paris region, service disruptions continued through the end of the day. Local authorities advised avoiding non-essential travel, especially in wooded areas or near old structures. In Ile-de-France, the main risk came from falling branches and debris. Although the impact was less severe than along the Atlantic coast, wind speeds were still strong enough to cause incidents in parks and urban zones. But the numbers kept rising. A total of 19 French departments remained under orange alert, highlighting the storm's wide-reaching impact across the country. In the United Kingdom, the Environment Agency urged residents to check flood warnings and avoid driving on flooded roads, reminding the public that just 30 centimeters of water can immobilize a vehicle. Meteorologists noted that wind gusts could remain between 90 and 110 kilometers per hour across much of the continent, with peaks of up to 130 in exposed coastal zones. By late afternoon, the Met Office cautioned there was a small chance that winds could exceed 115 kilometers per hour if the system maintained its strength. As the storm advanced northward, rainfall became more frequent across East Anglia and Lincolnshire, with forecast accumulations between 30 and 50 millimeters. However, conditions began to stabilize around midnight. Meteorological models confirmed that the low-pressure core was moving into the North Sea, reducing its impact on land. By Friday, October 24th, winds were expected to gradually subside, allowing cleanup operations and power restoration to begin. Technical crews planned to inspect the Palace of Versailles before reopening its gardens and outdoor areas.